living my best life. I told y'all, I'm living my best life. I made a couple L's with my best friends. Turned all my L's into lessons. You see the whip pulling up, it's like skirt. Dreams pulling up, it's like skirt.
Hello there, Repti family. So I know it's been a kind of an inactive week for me. I actually was on vacation this week and kind of relaxing, spent time, of course, with my animals and time with the husband and hanging out a little bit. So didn't do much activity on the channel, but I'm back today. And I figured since I was coming back today, let's do something different. So I often share that I own multiple animals, but I own so many that I forget that I don't display them all, and some of them I had for a very long time. So today I'm going to actually showcase my red ear slider turtles, who are one of probably my favorite pets in the home. I've had them since 9 years now. When I first got them, they were so small that each one of them can literally sit in the middle of my hand. So I have a male and female red ear slider. And just to give you little information on why I chose turtles, again, it goes back to just being a child of nature, growing up in my neighborhood, just like my infatuation with snakes and dogs and other animals. So I actually got these probably a couple years before we purchased the house. So there were a couple things that I knew that once me and my husband purchased the home that we were going to be in for quite some time, that I wanted a Rottweiler. Before we moved into the home, I wanted turtles, and of course, you know, snakes is just a given. They are always there. So the turtles was one of the before we moved into this home purchase. So I purchased them probably a couple years before we actually moved into the home, and started them off in a very little, I think it was like a 10-gallon tank, and then moved them to eventually a 40 to a 75. And now they're in 125 gallon. And the goal is eventually, if I'm blessed to finally determine where in the South that I want to live, at some point, if they're still around, they will have an outdoor pond. But I'm in Maryland, and of course, you know, our winters are very hard, so you're not gonna benefit from having an outdoor pond. Although red ear sliders actually live native to Maryland and survive the winters. And I'm sure it's because they have this, you know, a nice burrowing system. And then also there's certain pockets of water that we know that stay warm because of different sedimentation and filtration that comes through. So with that being said, I also own a Rottweiler who, if I did a pond, I would not do it in the front of my home. I would do it in the back of the home, since we have a very large yard. And that yard pretty much is manned by the Rottweiler. He mans that yard, and sometimes even stands up on the deck and looks over the gate, over the fence, and monitors our neighbors' yards. So, you know, I wouldn't want to interrupt his space or do anything that causes them stress. So he's actually fine. Those turtles are the one set of pets that he's actually fine around. The Rottweilers are fine around. My Yorkie Poo is fine around them. And I don't know if it's because they kind of grew up together, but well, I can't say that because my Rottweiler would never love the snakes. It just doesn't happen. I don't know what it is the way they move or the fact that they're on me that makes them overprotective, but we don't bring the two of those together. But let's get to it. So the first one I'm gonna show is going to be my male, and this is Lumpy. Lumpy just put his head in. He was out. Oh, he back out. Say hi, Lumpy. So this is Lumpy. The two turtles I have are actually siblings. So Lumpy is the male. Hey, Lump. And he's normally good once he's out of the water. Red ear slider spends a lot of time in the water. Although they do come out the water too fast, they spend a lot of time inside the water. But as you can see, Like I said, when I first got them, they were so small. They can sit both in the middle of my hand, and look at him now. And he's the smaller one. So that's Lumpy. And I always rub his shell like he can feel it. Lumpy, actually, if you look, well, you probably can't see it that well, but right here has a little bump in his shell. And one day, he actually crawled out of the tank, and I had hardwood floors, and you could literally hear him hit the floor. But you know, they're very adorable. I guess to survive the wild for many, many years, this is one of the animals that definitely has to be wheeled. They will outlive me. You know, he was fine, but that's Lumpy. So the next one is a little bit more feisty, just like females, right? This is Isis. And Isis is Lumpy's sister. And as you can see, Isis is much larger than Lumpy. Females, like I said, tend to be bigger. So I'm going to show you the two of them together so you can see the size difference. That's Isis and this is Lumpy. So believe that she is bigger but have a smaller tail. He's smaller but has a bigger tail. So very easy to tell them apart. If you see her head is much bigger than his, so it's even in the water you can tell them apart. Which is unique about them though is they both have a array of personality. My sister actually is not afraid of snakes, but she's afraid of them because she seems to think that when she comes over that they're trying to get her. But one of the things that we noticed one day, the smoke alarm was going off and they both came out of the water behind me. We cleaned out their tank in the back. So as you can see, it's some height to their tank. And of course they have, you know, some climbing features that help them bask. So that gives them a kind of a boost, but they actually came up to the side. And when I came downstairs, they were looking at me like, look, should we run? Are you coming with us? They love music. When I play music around them, they tend to show excitement and draw themselves towards the music. So that's something I noticed with them. But of course, animals are very self-sufficient. You won't see them out a lot. On a hot summer day, I might send them out on the deck with me and let them bask out there on the deck for some time. They can move really fast. So thinking that turtles are slow, these will prove you different. If you put them on the floor and they're in an active mode and not in a defensive mode, they will move quickly from one room to the other. So it's very funny. Turtles are not slow. At least these two are not. And look, Isis is actually into the camera. So. And Lumpy is a little bit more calmer than Isis. Isis has a lot of personality, but they know me when I come in and out or come near them. They know it's me. And then turtles are real beggars, so you have to be careful of overfeeding them. And you know, people feed their red-eared sliders different things. I never feed them live food. I'll actually share and show you what I've always fed them. I feed them the Zoo-Mat aquatic turtle food. That's all I've ever fed them, and they love it. Haven't switched up much with them. Every now and then I may have given them like some lettuce or something like that, but I don't do that often. It's just typically giving them everything they need. Setting up your red-eared sliders is very important that you understand that they're not going to be the little turtle that you always, the turtle that you purchase always. So it's important to, just like with a lot of other reptiles, understand that it's a long-term growth spurt and you're going to have to be able to accommodate that space for them. For a red-eared slider, you want them to have water width that is 3 times the turtle length, and the water length, which is 5 times your turtle length. And the depth should be at least 2 times your turtle's length. So as they get bigger, I upgrade their tank. In fact, I have some new snake enclosures coming. When those snake enclosures come, we're moving this tank to another room. And that tank and the new enclosure for my new Asian water monitor, which will be his long-term enclosure, are going to be set up in the next room. And we're going to expand them to a bigger tank. I don't know if I want to do a bigger tank or if I'm just going to go and find like a large pond that can give them, I want them to have at least for a long term 500 gallons of water. So you should also keep a filtration system with them. I just prefer to draw the water out and clean it because I have purchased so many filtration systems, and because they're so big, they will break them and cause the motors to go out. I mean, it's crazy, but I do recommend that, especially when they're smaller, to have a filtration system for them. Fortunately, where they are, as you can see, we can drain the water really easy. We just stick this in here, and this tube literally drains the water out. It's connected to the front holes in the front nose bed in the house, and we can just simply put the water back in through the same system. So drain it out and drain it in through the same system that we use. Today, I'm actually going to do some changing up in their tank, lowering the water a little bit and giving them a different form of a basket spot and see how that works. We'll see. I try not to put too much stuff in the tank to keep them from swimming because they really do love to swim. But I added a PVC tube because I know as they like to go in and come out of that tube. And you'll see different things that I have in there from when they want to climb that I take in and take out. Just give them different activity. I believe every animal, regardless of what it is, should have some form of exercise. So that's it. So pretty much it. Say bye, Lumpy and the big girl. It's even different picking them up. You can really feel the difference in the weight picking up Lumpy and Isis. She is so much more heavier. But that's it. That's my radius slider. Just wanted to give a quick thank you to all of you guys who follow and support me and my channel and are coming along with me on this journey. I ask that you continue to like, support, share, subscribe. There's way more to come in 2021. Thank you so much for all of your support. This is just a branch to bigger things, and I really appreciate those of you who are here now as we move to bigger and larger assignments. Thank you.